And showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. Look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I'm executive editor of the ChannelPro Network, also a co-host of this program. I am joined this week, as I am every week, by our other co-host, Eric Simpson, business transformation and improvement advisor to MSPs and other IT providers. And Eric, I don't know exactly where you are. I just know it's not your home.
That's correct, Rich. I am somewhere in the Northeast doing some leadership training and team building for one of my MSP consulting clients. And I'll be here just long enough to get back home to watch Sunday football games. So a lot of good games coming up. So people are asking me, well, will you be going to the game? We know where you are. I'm like, nope, not going to go to the game out here in the chilly Northeast, but I will be watching from home. So that's where I am, Rich. And Rich, where are you at?
I am home here in Seattle, where it's definitely warmer than where you are, and it's been a little sunny today. It's been kind of nice.
Yeah, we're expecting snow tomorrow, so just saying.
You've had poor weather luck, I'll just say. We were in communication over the weekend. It was pouring rain in Southern California, and now you've flown to the Northeast and right into snow, but I'm sure this is ending very, very soon. Well, let's plunge into our top story of the week here, and it comes to us, it comes to us all the way from down under, Eric, from a company called Pia, which is a startup. It was founded by an Australian or executives from an Australian MSP called Virtual IT Group. Like a lot of great solutions, it started out as a tool that they built for their own use and turned it into a product. This week, this system officially became available to MSPs in the US. It's called AI Desk. And basically, it's a robotic process automation, an automation tool that draws on a lot of artificial intelligence, machine learning, advanced algorithms, natural language processing to automate level 1 and level 2 tickets. Analyze, route, resolve level 1, level 2 service tickets. Simple stuff like adding a new user, password resets, printer setups. Stuff that can take, according to the folks at Pia, a typical tech might spend 75% of their time on that kind of stuff. It's not very complicated. It can be an enormous efficiency boost if you can hand that off to a machine, essentially, and allow that to do the work instead. According to Pia, at least if you're using this system, you can resolve those simple tickets up to 8 times faster. You can improve your ticket closure rates by 400% or so. Now, this gets to both a timeless and a timely theme, Eric, which is why I kind of wanted to bring it into the show here today. So it's an interesting product. It's worth investigating. There are other companies out there like Roost, R-E-W-S-T. It's a very new one. UiPath, MSBots.ai. There are others out there doing similar kinds of things. And they are all basically addressing an issue that is as old as managed services and MSPs themselves, basically, which is just the idea that the key to scalability and profitability is very much around productivity. So anything you can do to improve technician productivity is going to be very beneficial. And if you can kind of hand rote stuff off to software, free your techs up to do the more profitable, more complex stuff, that's really going to position you to scale. So this has been true for many, many years, as long as we've known each other, basically. But it's especially true now, isn't it, Eric? Because the labor market, particularly for techs, is really tight right now. It's difficult to find them. It's difficult to retain them. And so anything you can do to position your MSP to get work done with fewer techs or just the techs that you have right now is really going to be a beneficial thing too. So new product from Pia, their first product. They've got others, by the way, in development coming along soon. I think we're going to hear about some of those this year. So news in and of itself, but also just kind of a sign of the times trend around AI being leveraged to automate and build productivity at a particularly opportune time for MSPs.
Boy, isn't that a fact, right? It's the sign of the times, as you positioned it, Rich. We're seeing a lot of entrance into this market, leveraging things like AI, RPA, robotic process automation, and workflow optimization, and automated self-healing or automated escalation. So kind of reducing the noise of some of these simple to close tickets, reducing the the need to hire some more of these lower skilled staff, and clearing the noise so that the existing staff that MSPs have can focus on more high value services, more strategic services, more valuable services, maybe build out that security, that SOC offering quicker and deliver on it. You use the word productivity as you were speaking, Rich, and I would say, well, let me add to productivity. Let's say, higher value productivity, right? Because you could argue before, AI and RPA and all these things came about, we were trying to increase the productivity from our level 1 and level 2 technicians, right, to close more tickets more quickly. And we're using things like, dedicated service dispatchers and, incident escalation processes that everybody's following and things like that. And now what we're saying is, holy cow, now we can move a lot of that resource burden to higher value productivity, right? So now more level 3, more cybersecurity focused things, maybe, more project work, right? As we're having more discussions, more accelerated discussions now where clients are spending a little bit more budget. We did on a show a little bit ago, we talked about what the market looks like for IT spend for SMBs coming up in 2023, and it's growing, right? So very, very interesting, and allows us now, like you said, maybe to ease the need to hire more folks, or maybe adjust our target for the folks that we hire. Maybe, if we can replace some of that noise with automation, we don't need those human resources. Maybe we're hiring more cybersecurity focused stuff, more cloud engineers, right? As we always talk about on the program, at least for, at least the last 6 months, or anything post-pandemic, the move toward the cloud migration. So we need more folks that are versed in, Azure, AWS, and those solutions, Google, and then of course, cybersecurity, and then hybrid workforce support, right? So I think it helps us, change our perspective in how we staff, and maybe even get us to formalize or slim down the types of services that we offer to the more profitable services and to what today's post-pandemic buyers are investing in today.
So we're talking here about what techs do with or without electronic assistance. It's actually kind of a nice segue to your tip of the week, Eric, which has to do with another very controversial topic among MSPs right now, which is where the techs do that work. So what is your tip of the week?
So the tip of the week is be open to hiring, direct hiring, not outsourcing. I'm talking about directly hiring more remote workers. And I've been having more and more conversations recently, Rich, with partners, clients of mine as well, that are actually adjusting their hiring strategy to hire remote technical support all over North America, as a first look. And I think, easily you could say, well, we could expand that, beyond and go internationally. But these partners that I'm working with are hiring folks in other states in the United States where the cost of living is lower than where they are particularly located. So it allows them to lower their costs for this labor. And it also opens up a lot broader kind of a search, candidly, for technicians that are looking for work. So you mentioned how, we know how tough it is to hire techs. We know how tough it is to retain techs. And some of the clients that I work with, share with me that some of their technicians are being lured away with offers of a remote position for another organization. So this is, I think, attractive to some of the workforce. And I think it allows us to kind of broaden our horizons. Now, with that comes a different strategy in how you maintain the relationship, where you team build, you make those remote workers feel like part of the family. And we could probably talk about that on another tip of the week coming up. How do you support and nurture and grow a remote workforce when they're not in the office every day? What are the types of things that you can do to keep those folks feeling fulfilled and feeling part of the team?
That would be a great topic for a tip of the week down the road, because I know that that's something that a lot of MSPs out there are thinking about. But the impression I get just based on conversations with MSPs is that a majority of them either recognize, they've either embraced the idea of hiring regionally, nationally, et cetera, for some of the reasons that you've talked about there, in terms of the wage scale being different. You just have access to a much bigger, wider, deeper pool of talent instead of being stuck with people who are local. But there are plenty of MSPs out there who really still feel like there is no replacement for having folks together, working in the same space, overhearing one another on the phone with customers and chipping in. The collaboration, the teamwork, and so on, the cultural bonding that can kind of happen by physically working together is something that's very appealing still for a lot of MSPs. But I do wonder how long that choice really becomes viable, when, as you say, or at least for as long as it's relatively easy for a tech who knows what he or she is doing to find another job. If they really want the option to work remote at least part of the week, it probably won't be that difficult for them to find an employer who will let them do that. So it's an interesting, I hear very different points of view on this topic right now. And then the other thing I do hear people asking about is, okay, I have this distributed tech workforce. How do I, keep them bound together? And so let's absolutely plan on talking about that in a future show. But for now, folks, we've only got time for one more story for you. And we touched on AI a little bit earlier on in the show here. Let's go back to AI, because we have an application of AI that is going to help people deal with other applications of AI. What am I talking about here? Well, facial recognition software is getting better and better out there. And there are a lot of people who are really kind of nervous about walking around in the world, and there are cameras pointed at them, tracking their whereabouts and so on. Well, an Italian company, a startup named Capable, it's probably how they pronounce it, has an answer to this. It's what they call it their Manifesto collection. Sweaters, hoodies, pants, t-shirts, and dresses. Each of them they have a pattern on them that for the folks who are just listening is a little bit hard to describe, but it's a very busy, colorful pattern, let's say. And the pattern was developed by artificial intelligence, and it is designed to confuse artificial intelligence powered surveillance systems, so that you can walk around wherever you want to, the shopping mall or whatever, and sure, facial recognition software is looking at you, but it can't see you because you're wearing what this company calls, quote unquote, an adversarial patch. So I guess it takes AI to fight AI, Eric.
Well, let's just make sure that everyone's using, those features for good rather than evil. That's kind of the first thought that comes to mind.
I am with you right there. And you know what, folks, that is all the time we've got for you this week on the 5-Minute Roundup. We're going to be back again next week with another episode for you. We do this both as a podcast and as a video. If you're watching the video, but you like podcasts, go to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Google or Apple or Stitcher or Spotify, you name it, you're going to find us there. Please take the extra few seconds to subscribe, rate, and review. We would appreciate that very much, and so would your peers. If you're listening to the podcast, you're curious to check us out on video, go to YouTube, look for the ChannelPro Network channel there. Once again, an opportunity to become a subscriber, and if you click that little bell icon, you'll even get notified when the new episodes go up. You want to read more about PIA and this solution they introduced this week, you just want to get great business growth advice for your company, please visit channelpronetwork.com every day, because you're going to find great new stuff for you there every day. To learn more about Eric and the work he does with his clients, you're going to want to visit ericksimpson.com. That is ERICK Simpson.com. So once again, folks, we thank you for joining us. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.